Hello, good people of the internet. Today, I'm a little bit more naked than I usually am, because in today's video, I am going to be doing the 30-day plank challenge to see if I see any differences in the way my body looks and feels from the beginning to the end of the challenge. There's a lot of different versions of the plank challenge I've seen online. The one that I am going to be doing starts at 20-second planks per day and ends with a 5-minute plank. I'm actually filming this intro after already having done the plank challenge for a few days. I've done it for about a week. I've reached the 45-second plank point, and so far it's still okay. I think it's gonna start getting hard around 1 minute or 1 minute and 30 seconds. That's where I think I'm gonna start feeling the burn for real. I think with the first week or two, it's more about building the tolerance to the workout, and then towards the end, when you start doing pretty long planks, is when you start feeling the difference. So anyway, I wanted to start this video off in a bikini so that you can see what we are working with. Right now, I weigh in at about 69.4 kilograms, and I've got my tape measure right here to do some measurements. I may be doing these totally wrong because I have no idea what I'm doing, and this is just an experiment that I'm doing for fun. My waist measurement right now, at least I hope that's my waist measurement, is about 29 inches or 74 centimeters. I'm gonna do my hip measurement over across the widest part of the hip. So it's more like the circumference of my booty. 43 and a half inches or about 110 centimeters. I have had breakfast today, so I'm not on an empty stomach. If I try to tense my muscles, it looks something like this. Like I can suck it in a little bit, but normally it just looks like this. My goal with this challenge is just to get into working out regularly again, starting with something simple that does not take too much time so that I have no excuses to not do it. Of course, if I reach a point in the challenge where I physically cannot do the plank anymore, then that's something different. But the longest plank you do for this challenge is 5 minutes, and I think anybody can make 5 minutes of time in their day to do something. My theory, realistically, is I don't think there's gonna be any outward physical changes that you can see, and I also don't think that I'm going to drop any weight because this is a strength workout. It's not cardio. It probably doesn't burn a ton of calories, so I don't think it's gonna lead to any weight loss. It's probably only going to change maybe the way that I feel, having a stronger core. Maybe I'll have an improved posture overall because the core muscles, when they're like really weak, then you tend to slouch more. But if you have stronger core muscles, then you tend to have better posture because it's not as difficult to keep your body upright. Right now, I do have a tendency to kind of like slouch a little bit and have like a little bit of a slump to the way that I stand naturally. So the hope is by strengthening the core muscles, it's gonna help me kind of like perk up and straighten up the way that I stand and walk. My neighbors are driving around and can totally see me through the window standing here naked. I'm a little bit self-conscious. When I was a kid, in biology class, I learned that 50% of the body fat is stored in your skin, and your skin goes on top of the muscles. And I do have quite a little bit of like extra fat around the edges. It's not something that I'm like super concerned about, but it does mean that any changes to the strength of my muscles and the size of my muscles will be less noticeable if I don't also reduce body fat and kind of burn some of that fat off at the same time. The more body fat that you have, the thicker your skin is, so the less defined your muscles will look overall. I've done a plank challenge before many years ago when I was still kind of in the midst of my eating disorder, and I was still really thin and had very little body fat, and at that time I definitely saw a pretty big change, but that's because I didn't have a ton of body fat to begin with, and so any kind of like change in stronger core muscles was much easier to see and much more defined. So I'm gonna take you guys through this challenge with me and come back at the end of the 30 days to measure everything again and see what changes appear to have happened. For the most part, the plank workout is supposed to engage your abdominal muscles, these muscles in kind of like the shoulder area, and possibly also like the back of the thighs or the glutes. I am not an expert. I do not know what I'm doing. It's very possible that I will be doing all of this challenge using completely the wrong form. So this is literally an average Joe's guide to the plank challenge. There will be no dieting, no other workouts that I don't do already, no lifestyle changes in any way. I want to keep the results specifically targeted to the plank challenge alone. So if you want to do the plank challenge as well and you want to see if it actually works, then keep on watching. It's day 12. It's time to do a minute 30. I have a feeling this is going to be extremely painful, but I get a break tomorrow, so that's good. I don't know, I could barely do a minute, so I'm kind of freaking out here. All right, let's go. Minute 30. I try to just not look at the time remaining and just go somewhere else with my mind. I'm not here. I'm somewhere nice on a beach, sipping cocktails. God, I looked at the clock. 30 seconds remaining. Fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck. Oh my God. I honest to God don't know how I'm gonna survive this. Do I have abs yet? Please. My thighs hurt, my back hurts, and not in a good way. Like my thighs hurt in a good muscle pain way, but my back hurts in a bad posture kind of way. Yesterday we did a minute 50. My boyfriend joined me for part of the plank. Today we have to do 2 minutes. Yesterday I had to take like 2 breaks. So this is not gonna go well. I think it's safe to say it's virtually impossible that I'm gonna get to 5 straight minutes of planking with no breaks. Mocha's just gonna watch, and Peter's over here doing it with me. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Peter, there's 1 whole minute left.
Yeah, but think about it.
I feel like I can't breathe properly either. Come on, come on, come on. Half a minute left, come on. Come on, Hexa. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy. Life expectancy going up. Buying more time for life to do things by being healthy and having strong abs. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. 9.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ugh. Ugh. I hate this. I feel like I have the worst form ever. Like I'm not even doing it in the most correct, painful position. But at least I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Oh my God. You impressed, Mocha? I'm so cool, right? Yeah. This is awful. Do I have abs yet? I don't think so. It's time to do the 2-minute, 30-second plank. I barely survived 2 minutes. A new strategy involves watching the Gilmore Girls on Netflix while doing the plank to try to forget the pain that my body is in. I need a break. This is not possible. This is evil. Okay, done. I hate this with every fiber of my being. Oh, my arms hurt. Do I have abs yet? I did 3 days of 2.5-minute planks for the challenge, and I was not able to complete any of those 2.5-minute planks without breaks. And the last 2 days I was supposed to do a 3-minute plank, but to be honest, I was scared shitless and did not want to do it, so I didn't. But I also don't want to stop doing the challenge, which means today I have to do 3.5 minutes without having gone through that bridge of 3 minutes to kind of acclimate or whatever. At this point, I'm feeling a little discouraged. I mean, I think doing a 3.5-minute plank with a couple breaks in between is still a good workout, but the point is I wanted to do it without any breaks, and I'm annoyed that I've gotten to the point in the challenge where I need a break. Part of me is still thinking like, don't be a pussy, don't be a pussy, be tough, you can do this, blah, you know, but another part of me is just suffering deeply during these plank things, so we'll see how this goes.
And where we're trying to get them. There's no sort of
one that's probably going to come up a lot.
That, you know, his quotes were so reactive, right? So like then the other person falls flat on the dance floor or has to change his steps too.
This is torture. Why did I sign up to do this shit? I need to open a window, it's hot. Ow, my head hurts. I'm gonna put the podcast away. Give myself a little pep talk instead. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Resume. Don't be a pussy, don't be a pussy, don't be a pussy, don't be a pussy. Everything hurts. The thing is, I can't even breathe right. I don't know. I can't do this anymore. My Sephora box came. I'm gonna do my new skincare routine after I finish this, so hopefully that gives me the motivation to finish it without taking any further breaks. I have 1 minute and 17 seconds left. This should be doable. Resume. Can I just stay here for the rest of the day? Thanks. My body has not stopped aching since I started the plank challenge, which doesn't really surprise me. My thighs hurt, my abs hurt, my arms hurt, but the most problematic is I have this one localized pain in my left shoulder blade that's really uncomfortable, and no matter how much I ask people to massage it for me, it won't go away. I really freaking hate this. I cannot tell you how much I freaking hate this. I'm like ready to quit, but I said I would do it for the YouTube, so I've made a commitment. I have to honor that. I'm getting to the point in this challenge where I'm starting to realize like I've been watching Linda Sun recently, and she talks a lot about like joyful movement, and she does workouts together with her family. She does them for fun and as a form of self-care for her body rather than beating her body into submission. That whole concept is looking more and more attractive to me. Doing workouts that are fun rather than workouts that are forced. So I think after I finish this challenge, that's definitely something I'm gonna look into, is just, you know, finding some fitness YouTubers who do fun, easy workouts, and rather than like pushing myself to extremes with short-term challenges, to find a way to work out that is enjoyable and sustainable in the long term. Hello humans! We have reached the end of the plank challenge, and as you can probably tell from the clips that I recorded throughout the challenge, this challenge did not go down without a hitch. There were in fact lots of hitches, and I struggled quite a bit. I am pretty sure that the last 30-day plank challenge actually ended with a 3-minute plank, whereas this one aimed to end with a 5-minute plank. Spoiler alert, I did not reach a 5-minute plank. I want to get some of these statistical measurements out of the way first before I go on talking about my experience with this plank challenge. So I started the challenge at, I believe it was 69.4 kilograms. I actually gained about half a kilogram throughout this challenge, and I don't know if that was just because like my grandma's here and she's been cooking a lot of good food and feeding me a lot, or if it's because on like some subconscious level I thought, oh, I should eat more because I'm doing the plank challenge, which realistically doesn't make sense because it doesn't really burn that many calories. Half a kilogram is pretty much a negligible amount, so I'm not really that concerned or focused on it, but I just thought I should mention it. Got the handy dandy tape measure here. I am terrible at using tape measures, so I have no idea if the measurements I'm getting are even accurate, but you know, let's see. I'm getting 74 centimeters, which is exactly what it was when I started, and then across the widest part of the hip, again right around 110, 111, so no change in my measurements, which I didn't really expect to see any changes. I don't know if I look more toned. I don't feel like I do, but throughout this challenge, I noticed that I felt better about my body when I looked at myself in the mirror, because I guess a part of me was like, you know, I'm doing something good for myself right now. I'm doing something good for my body. This exercise is good for me. It feels good. And so I looked at my body with a bit more pride and admiration, just in the sense of like, it's something I'm working on intentionally rather than just like letting it happen. At least for me, I look at my body as a constant work in progress, and that doesn't mean that I look at it critically or that I shame myself or feel ashamed for having fat rolls and jiggly parts, but rather I feel like putting in work and attention towards exercising and eating a healthier diet, it says that I care about myself and I love myself and I'm trying to nurture myself. And so doing this challenge actually made me more excited about the prospect of doing more exercise, eating healthier food, and so on. It was definitely a very small place to start, but it opened up a lot of doors towards desire in me to actually focus more on building the healthy, fit body that I want. So I've got my bullet journal here where I have noted down every workout that I did or did not do. There were a few workouts that I skipped because I ate too much for dinner. Like towards the beginning of the challenge, I was doing the planks in the evening, usually after dinner, and there were a few times where like I had just eaten too much and I did not feel good about wanting to work out that day. There were also a couple times where I skipped the workout because I was too tired physically, like I just needed sleep and I was way too tired to do it. Day 22 and 23 of the challenge were supposed to be 3-minute planks, and I skipped both of those 3-minute planks because I had gotten discouraged after being unable to complete a 2.5-minute plank without breaks. Day 24 and 25 were 3.5-minute planks, and both of those required breaks. Day 26 was a rest day, and then after that I actually quit the challenge towards the end. Day 27 was spent building furniture for my mom, so I actually felt like I got a pretty good workout in that day and I didn't need to do another form of exercise. I was completely exhausted and sore in my whole body from spending like 5 hours that day building IKEA furniture, which I vlogged, by the way, in the first episode of Vlogmas. You should check it out. And after that, for the last 3 days, it was just like, I felt discouraged because I couldn't keep up anymore. I was needing to take a lot of breaks and it wasn't feeling good anymore to do this challenge. Up until like the 2.5 minute mark, I felt good after doing the workout, you know, like I was in a lot of pain and suffering and it felt really, really difficult while I was doing it, and it was not fun while I was doing it, but then like afterwards I got that nice rush of endorphins and I just felt good. I felt refreshed, I felt energized, I felt proud of myself for doing the workout. But then after that point, when I got to like 3.5 minute planks, it just wasn't fun anymore. I didn't get that good, nice, refreshed feeling anymore. I was shaking throughout the whole thing, like my muscles were shaking. I was feeling discouraged. I was feeling like I was letting myself down. And you know, I know that there are people who do these workout routines where you like do a certain type of workout until failure, like until you physically cannot anymore, until your muscles physically cannot hold you in that position anymore. But that's not the type of workout that I want to do. Like, I'm sure it might be beneficial to some people at some point in their fitness journey, but for me, beating my body into submission and forcing myself to do something until I physically couldn't anymore was not something that I was interested in pursuing. Of course, there's also an element of psychology and willpower with exercise, right? Like, I'm sure if it was a life or death situation and I had to hold that position until 5 minutes to survive, I probably, possibly, maybe would have been able to do it in that situation where my life depended on it. But when you're not in a life or death situation, I think that doing a workout until failure is a much harder feat to accomplish because you just don't have that willpower. You don't have that motivation to keep on beating your body into doing that exercise. I can easily see myself doing a 2-minute plank on a regular basis to stay fit. That was, I feel like, a good amount of time to do the plank for me, for my fitness level right now. And I would be happy to expand that to a longer plank as I get more fit and healthy. But right now, it was not the right moment for me to push myself that far. I also wanted to quickly mention that like I was sore, like my muscles were sore for the entire duration of this challenge after like the first few days, but it was a good sore. Like I felt good. Like I didn't work out so hard that I literally like destroyed my muscles and was in so much pain that I couldn't move afterwards, because I've done that before and it sucks and it is totally counterproductive. But I felt like I was in a good pain that I was proud of for like the whole challenge. And I think that's a feeling you want to look for, is where your muscles hurt a little bit because you worked them hard and you know it was tough, you pushed yourself, but you don't want to have a pain that's so bad that it's like unbearable and you feel like you can't move. Like I have literally done like squat challenge things before where I was in severe pain for like almost a week afterwards, to where I would have to slowly lower myself onto chairs by like holding on to something, you know, and that's not good. So in that regard, I feel like this challenge was really great, at least up until the point that I did it for, in that it pushed me just far enough to feel that good, healthy soreness without it being detrimental to my body. So that was how my 30-day plank challenge went. I will leave the challenge down below in the description box so you can see like how much I was supposed to plank for each day. And I'll also leave a note of which days I skipped, which days I failed, which days, etc., just so you guys know exactly what I did. I hope you guys liked this video, and please let me know if you want to see more of these kind of workout challenge videos in the future. I would love to do them. I think it was good for me and it was fun to try this. If you guys want to see more videos on lifestyle, wellness, self-care, personal development, and sometimes beauty and lush stuff, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell down below to be notified every single time I upload. And if you want to follow me on my other social media platforms, they're all linked down below, as well as my Patreon where you can support me and my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!